If you're thinking about getting your first credit card, you probably already started doing some research, right? Then all of a sudden you start seeing things like cashback, travel rewards, welcome bonuses, annual fees, APRs, and before you know it, you're even more confused than when you first started off. So how do you know exactly which credit card is actually right for you? The thing is, right, there are so many different credit cards out there. Some earn you travel points, some earn you cash back, some give you welcome bonuses just for signing up and getting the card. So if you're just getting started or you're looking to very soon, that's exactly what I want to talk about in this video. What's up, y'all? My name is Ruben, and this is Eternal Assets, where I'll talk any and everything financial literacy. And my goal on this channel is to make personal finance both simple and easy to understand. So by the end of this video, I don't want you just to know which credit cards I recommend if you're just getting started, but I want you to understand why I recommend them so you can choose the best one that fits your own situation. But before we actually start talking about specific cards, right, let's first answer a question that does not get asked nearly enough. So why should you even get one in the first place? Especially if you can already pay for everything with a debit card or with cash that you already have. Why introduce a credit card into the mix? The biggest reason by far is that credit cards help you build your credit history. So think of your credit history as your financial reputation, or as I like to call it sometimes, your adult report card. Every single time that you borrow money and pay it back responsibly, you're showing the lenders and the banks out there that you can be trusted with that money. And over time, that trust can open up doors and opportunities that can make your financial life a whole lot easier. For example, having good credit can help you qualify for lower interest rates on loans, make it easier to finance a vehicle, rent an apartment, and eventually buy a home when you're at that point in your financial journey. So simply put, building good credit today can help you create more financial opportunities for you in the future. Now that we know why having a credit card is actually important, right? Let's talk about what your first credit card should actually accomplish. Because believe it or not, your first credit card has one primary job, and that's helping you build responsible financial habits while also establishing good credit history. Everything else is simply a bonus. Now, that's not to say that rewards don't matter at all, because they definitely do. The key though is making sure that you're choosing the right card that fits your lifestyle and your financial habits. For example, some credit cards are great if you typically spend a lot of money on groceries, some are good if you spend a lot on gas, some are designed specifically for people like students, and many out there are just great for your overall everyday spending. But the point is that there's no perfect credit card out there for everyone. There's just the one that makes the most sense for where you're at financially. And that's exactly how I want you to think about these three cards that I'm about to go over, because I'm not necessarily ranking them from best to worst, but instead I picked each one because each is a great option for a different type of person. And also, before we get into the cards, I do want to mention one quick disclaimer, and that's that every credit card that I'm going to mention in this video is what's called an unsecured credit card, or in other words, you don't have to put down a security deposit in order to open up an account. Now, as we know, for all credit cards, you actually have to apply and get approved, right? And that doesn't mean that everyone watching this video is automatically going to get approved for the ones that I'm going to mention. Getting approved depends on things like your income, your credit history, and your overall financial situation. Now, if you're somebody who maybe has applied for an unsecured card before and you've gotten denied, or you already know beforehand that you have little to no credit history, a secure card might be a better place to actually start. However, with that being said, it definitely is possible to get approved for an unsecured card right out the gate. In fact, that's exactly what happened to me. My very first credit card was the Discover It Chrome card, and I got approved for that unsecured card without ever having to start with a secured card first. Now, of course, everyone's different, right? So your experience might not be the exact same as mine, but I did want to mention that because a lot of people assume that a secured card is their only option when they're first getting started, when that's not necessarily the case. Now, with all that being said, let's finally get into the first card that I would recommend, and that's going to be the Chase Freedom Rise card. Now, right on Chase's website, they actually advertise this card as being best for people who are either new to credit and students, which is one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to include it in this video. If you're just getting started on your credit card journey, this is exactly the type of card that I will be looking at. Now let's talk about some of the benefits. So first off, there's no annual fee, so you don't have to worry about paying just to keep the card open. On top of that, you get 1.5 cash back on every purchase that you make, and that makes it a really simple card to actually use. You don't have to keep track of a bunch of different spending categories, but instead, every purchase that you make earns the same exact flat rate cash back. At the time that I'm recording this video, Chase is also offering a limited time promotion where you can earn 3% cash back on dining, including things like takeout and eligible delivery services on up to $6,000 in purchases during the first 6 months that you have the card. They also offer a $25 statement credit if you enroll in automatic payments within your first 3 months of having the card and you stay enrolled for at least 90 days. Just keep in mind that promotional offers like these with credit cards definitely do change over time, so it's always good to double check the current offer before you apply for one. Another thing I really like about this card is that it's a great way to start building a relationship with Chase. Chase is one of the more well-known credit card issuers out there, so if you think in the future you might want another Chase card, it's a really solid place to begin. because as you start building your credit history and continue making on-time payments, you might eventually decide that you want to move on to things like the Chase Freedom Unlimited, the Chase Freedom Flex, or even one of the Chase Sapphire cards if they do fit into your financial goals. In fact, Chase will automatically evaluate eligible Freedom Rise cardholders each year for an upgrade to the Freedom Unlimited if you meet certain account and payment history requirements. One last thing that is worth mentioning is that if you have at least $250 in a Chase checking or savings account, it can actually improve your chances of getting approved. Now, this is not a requirement, but if you already are banking with Chase or you're thinking about opening an account anyway, this can actually work in your favor. So overall, if you're brand new to the credit card game and you're looking for a simple card with no annual fee, straightforward cash back, and an opportunity to start growing with Chase and potentially get the other cards, I think that the Chase Freedom Rise is a great place to start. Now, this next recommendation is going to be for my students out there or anybody who's currently in college. So if that's you, I think the Discover It Student Cashback is definitely a card that's worth considering. Just like the Chase Freedom Rise, this card has no annual fee, and Discover specifically designed this card for students who are looking to build credit while earning cash back along the way. Another great thing is that you don't even need a credit score to apply for this card, although Discover may actually use one if you already have one established. Now, one of the biggest reasons by far that people love this card is because it earns 5% cash back on different spending categories that rotate throughout the year up to $1,500 in purchases each quarter when you activate it. Once you do hit that spending limit of $1,500, or if you make purchases outside of the bonus categories, then you'll earn just 1% cash back instead. Now, keep in mind that those 5% categories do change every quarter, or in other words, every 3 months. So this isn't one of those cards that you can just set it and forget about it. Throughout the year, Discover rotates through different categories with included things like grocery stores, restaurants, gas stations, transportation, drugstores, and many more. So before each new quarter begins, it's always a good idea to check Discover's cashback calendar to see which categories are currently earning that 5% cash back. Just remember that you'll have to activate those categories each quarter before you'll actually earn the bonus rewards. Another couple of features that I really like about this card is the welcome offer and Discover's unlimited cashback match. So starting with the welcome offer, right now Discover's running a limited time offer where eligible new card holders can earn a $100 statement credit after spending at least $300 on purchases within the first 3 months of opening the account. On top of that, Discover automatically matches all of the cashback you've earned in the first year of having the card. So if you earn, say, $100 in cashback throughout your first year, they'll match it and you'll end up with $200. Or if you earn $250, they'll match that, giving you a total of $500, so on and so forth. So if you're a student who's looking for a credit card with no annual fee, super strong cashback potential, and one that's specifically designed for people who are just getting started, the Discover It Student Cashback is a really dope option. And finally, the third card that I would recommend is going to be the Capital One Quicksilver card. Now, if you're somebody who likes to keep things simple and you don't want to worry about activating different rotating categories or keeping track of different reward rates, this card is definitely going to be worth taking a look at. Just like the other two cards we talked about, the Capital One Quicksilver also does not have an annual fee, making it another great option for beginners. And as far as benefits go, the biggest selling point with this card is overall its simplicity. Instead of earning different rewards depending on what you're buying, you'll earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every single purchase. Whether you're buying groceries, filling up your gas tank, shopping online, or you're going out to eat, every purchase that you make has the same flat rate of that 1.5%. There are no rotating categories to keep track of and nothing that you have to activate each quarter either. Honestly, I think that's what makes this card so appealing. Some people don't want to have to remember which category is earning 5% this quarter or worry about activating bonus categories every few months. With this card, it's really simple. You use the card, earn cash back, and that's it. And for a lot of people, that's exactly what you're looking for. And also, just like those other cards, the Quicksilver card has a welcome offer right now where you'll get $200 cash bonus when you spend $500 on different purchases within the first 3 months of opening the account. Capital One also offers 5% cash back on hotels, vacation rentals, and rental cars. However, they do need to be booked specifically through Capital One Travel. So like I said, if you're looking for a credit card that's easy to understand, no annual fee, and straightforward rewards, this is another really great option to take a look at. So hopefully this video gives you a little bit better understanding of what to look for when you're choosing that first credit card. Remember that there is not one best credit card for everyone, but what it really comes down to is your personal situation and finding the one that best fits your spending habits and your financial lifestyle. The most important thing is not earning rewards when you're first getting started, but instead is using the credit card responsibly, making your payments on time, and paying your statement balance in full each month. If you do that consistently, you'll be well on your way to building a really strong credit score. And if you did find this video helpful, I really appreciate it if you left a like or if you consider subscribing as well. It really helps support the channel and allows me to continue making videos just like this one. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.